A wireless security camera that can run a year on a single charge? Let's check it out. Taylor here, and I want to talk about home security. I want to talk about the fact that you probably want to have a webcam somewhere, maybe pointing at your front door, but then you have to deal with all the wires. Enter this. This is the EufyCam E. This is the second generation wireless camera from Eufy, which is a division of Anchor Innovations, and it is actually pretty cool. It's heavy because there's a lot of battery in there, because this runs, I'm not kidding you, for a year on a single charge. In fact, if you only have it in standby, it can last up to 3 years on a charge, which is pretty crazy. That's a really long time. Has a super powerful magnet in the back, which makes it really easy to mount it in, for example, a tree pointing at your front door, right? That would work pretty well. So the battery is really the big deal here, but it is also outdoor rated, hence me talking about it being used outside. And in fact, that outdoor rating is actually a weatherproof IP67, and it's functional for -4 degrees to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, not Kelvin. I'm not sure you can get to -4 Kelvin, but this would freeze. It wouldn't work. So -4 is good. There are certainly times that our environment, certainly here in Colorado, we get colder than -4 degrees. So I'm not sure what would happen there, but it is rated down to -4. And frankly, if you know you're getting into a monster cold polar vortex or something, then you just pop it off and bring it in the house until the weather improves a little bit. So that's probably the reality of all security cameras. They can only handle so much temperature variation. So let's keep talking about this. This offers live streaming at full 1080p HD resolution, and it has a view of 140 degrees, which is really nice. Let's just jump real quick to when I had this in my kitchen. You can see there's a nice wide panorama here in this shot. So, also has two-way audio and infrared night vision, which is super fun. We're gonna have fun with this in just a minute, but let me get there. Now, one of the other things that's really nice is a couple of other wireless battery-powered external webcams on the market from different companies, but one of the things that's nice about this is they actually have an anti-theft siren. So in the app, you can set it up, and if someone tries to take it, or if you forget and try to take it, it will emit this very loud, very annoying siren. If you're a bad guy, I guess you will probably just throw it down and run away, because you'll say, oh my gosh, it is a video camera, which means they have video footage of me stealing the camera. And now we have a siren too. So probably not great thinking stealing one of these, but in any case, it does have that anti-theft siren. You'll probably want to turn it off before you pop it off its mount and charge it again next year, but that's something you'll have to remember. Now, it's actually a two-piece unit, because there's the base unit, and the base unit is actually quite a bit lighter than the camera, because the base unit has a battery in it, but it's a very small battery. Why does it have a battery? Because if you lose power, this thing will continue to work for up to 48 hours. And it has an optional micro SD slot in the back that you can put a card in, and you can actually have video written straight to the card. So you lose power, it's still recording video. That's pretty cool. So the base unit, like I said, is a 48-hour backup battery. It has a 300-foot range. Maybe, we'll come back to that. And you plug it in via Ethernet connection to your network, which is a little annoying because I have about 3,000 units plugged into my Ethernet already. I have a really, really complicated topology here. So finding another available Ethernet plug for this thing, not so easy. Okay, so micro SD. Oh, the micro SD storage is encrypted, which is cool. I didn't have a chance to test that. I don't believe it's actually working in this unit. This is somewhere between a prototype and an actual shipping unit. I've noticed that there's some issues, like on the packaging, it says it's IP65. That was the first EufyCam. The EufyCam E has an IP67 rating, so this packaging isn't even quite up to date. But this is still something, I think they're on Kickstarter. They're trying to get this into market. So I'm having a chance to look at a really early version, and it's actually, so it has its issues, but it's still really cool. Now, back to here, let's see. There's a couple of different things on the back for reasons I can't tell you. There's an IQ charging USB port here. I don't know, maybe they were thinking you'd have this sitting on your kitchen counter or something, or next to your bed. I don't know why you'd do that, but there is a button on top to turn off the alarm. So if this triggers an alarm, and again, you know, Eufy has this sense that this is part of a security system. So far, I don't see any door or window sensors. I don't see motion sensors other than built into the camera. And this is an outdoor design camera, so you probably don't want to pay the extra for the outdoor camera if you're going to use it indoors. So this is just like their first entry into what's going to, I imagine, become a larger ecosystem of security products. But be that as it may, this works great. It's pretty simple. Power, cord comes with. Ethernet, cord comes with. And then you download the app. So they have an app called Eufy Security, and here you can see, I already showed you one picture, which was from when I had this in the kitchen, and then when I moved it outside, this is your typical home screen. It's the front door of my house. And then you can get to settings, and there's a bunch of different things you can do there. But you know, I looked at all this and I thought about the weather rating and the fact that it could handle cold, and I thought, how can I test this when it's not snowing outside and it's not like some crazy heat wave because I'm in like South Australia and it is insanely hot? So I decided what would work was to make it a fridge cam. See, total innovation there. So I stuck this in the fridge, which turns out to not be a great idea because my fridge at least is not really Wi-Fi signal friendly. Who would have thought that you can't put Wi-Fi stuff inside your fridge? But it worked actually pretty well. So let's switch over and you can see here's the footage of someone stealing that last Rowdy Mermaid kombucha. All right, where is it? Oh, here it is. No one will know I took this one. So I admit this probably isn't designed to be inside your refrigerator, but you saw it gave you the infrared, it gave you audio, it gave you the video. You could see how it switched from the infrared black and white to then having this really saturated color to help identify that thief. And by the way, good kombucha, that's another story. So it worked really well. I will say that when I've had it further and further away from the base unit, I found that it did have connectivity issues, and that's really frustrating, though I'm used to it with other devices I have too, where you go and you want to live stream, which it supports, and it buffers, and it buffers, and it buffers, and then finally you get to see the live stream for a couple seconds, and then it goes back into buffering. Now that could be my own network. It could be that I have so many devices on my network that the network just literally can't keep up. You know, there are definitely routers have limits of how many DHCP addresses they want to hand out and stuff like that. So could be on my end, but it could also be something where as they're fine-tuning all of the components of the final shipping product, that's something that they're going to tweak a little bit too. Be that as it may, this is actually pretty darn cool. And what's really nice about it is that because it's small, totally self-contained, and it works and doesn't have to be super close to its base unit, it gives you a lot of options for hiding this somewhere on your property and pointing to your front door or your back door. And then as you saw in settings, you can turn on motion sensor. The company says that it's going to have face recognition, and they say that it's going to have integration with Alexa and Google Assistant and IFTTT. So far, I haven't seen that, but again, that's something that might be in Rev 1.1. So it'll just poof, just show up one day, so that'll be cool. In any case, even just as is, this is a really nice addition to your security setup. Even if you just are curious what's going on in the barn, or why your garage door keeps opening up, you could just position this inside a tree some distance away and have it just pointing at whatever you're interested in, and then whenever you want, you can actually go and check out the video footage. So that's pretty sweet. Now, it is a fairly premium price product, but this is exactly how this market segment works, is that these outdoor cameras are all really expensive because there's a lot more they have to do to make it fully weather and temperature proof. An indoor camera, super easy. It's probably just a chip and a little light sensor and a little bit of wiring and power, and you're done, boom. So lots of little baby cams, all that sort of stuff can be really cheap, or the little spy cameras, right? Those are cool. And those are also really cheap. This is not cheap. This is not inexpensive. So before I tell you the price and just a little bit more about where to learn about this product, let me ask if you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that. And if you have any webcams running in your house or office, then let me know in the comments what you're using and how it's working for you. And what would you do with a completely wireless and self-contained webcam? Where would you put it? And what do you think you'd catch? So that would be fun to hear. Okay, now, this setup is the EufyCam E wireless security camera, and it is $259 at eufylife.com. And if you go there and you can't see this one listed yet, then try coming back in a couple of days because it's just about to be released. It was on Amazon, now it's off Amazon. I'm sure it'll show up on Amazon again. And if you're dying for something like this, they also just have the EufyCam, which is a little bit less weather resistant, but still outdoor, battery powered. It still has very many of the same characteristics of this, and that one is available. So if you can't wait for sort of the second generation, you can go pick up the first generation product. In any case, I am not going to go put this back in my fridge. This is just a little weird to have it in my fridge, but I might well stash it somewhere outdoors because I think it'll be really interesting to do that. So this is Dave Taylor, and I'll catch you in my next video.